this is Mardiman41 here. Welcome to the third episode of Marty's Levels for us to show today. So, I have recently made a third level for you guys, and I really guys looking forward to this one, because this one is actually made for multiplayer. So, before we get into this level, let's go look at the stats of previous two levels. Let's see here. Okay, let's look at this one. So 4 clears, 86 people. This is not hard, guys. This level's not that hard. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the recent level I made. So, as you guys know, back in my day, I play a lot of Mario Party 3. And although Mario Party 3 is not the best Mario Party game, back then, I only had a Nintendo 64 in the day, and that's pretty much most of what me and my friends play a lot. So, as such, I decide, on top of my head, Awful Tower, I don't think anyone has ever made that type of minigame in Mario Maker yet. So I decided to take that, but I also decided to take the extra mile because I just realized, like, during when I decided to begin production for Awful Tower, I also realized that I can also do Vine with Me, the dual minigame. So, that's why what we're going to be doing for today. And look at this. 3 people played it, 3 people beaten it. And if we go to more info, it turns out that multiplayer versus match played. 1 match has been played on it. So far, it looks like it's pretty interesting, and it looks like it definitely would work. And let's see how well, in terms of the multiplayer versus matches, goes in here. So, by the way, in order to do like multiplayer versus matches, you have to go to network play, and then go ahead and make a room or multiplayer versus. I don't know if you can suggest a course. I'm gonna play for my very first time, actually, but I might have to show my support off camera. Alright, well, we're done here. Alright, so here's my overall thoughts on the online. Very bad. Hopefully it gets improved. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get right into my level really quickly. So, we're gonna play Awful Tower and Vine with Me, both minigames from Mario Party 3. So, how well did I replicate both of those minigames? Let's find out. Now, unfortunately, I'm playing it solo, but that's okay. I might as well just demonstrate how we're doing this. So, this is meant to be a multiplayer type of game. So, the reason why you're also gonna be raiding with mushrooms here, and because you're gonna be in this box. You're gonna be in this box, and you're gonna be rained mushrooms on. You're gonna be big and everything else. Anyway, so just like in N64. I replicate each of these pipes, like red for player 1, blue for player 2, yellow for player 3, and green for player 4. Let's play as player 2, because on my TV screen, it's really hard to see the left very far. Anyway, so we're starting things off with Awful Towers, which you remember from like the original Mario Party. There's always these blocks that are constantly going up and down, and you gotta basically make some jumping platforms. Now, I actually replicated this level really well. There's some coins on the way up. I'm going to try to collect all the coins that I can. And all these blocks going up and down. Now, when it comes to here, I knew, like, just like in the original game, there's going to be those Hammer Brothers that will cause knockback. So, in such, I added these, like, springboards. Okay, well, that's an overlooked feature. But I added those springboards, so that way you'll add some knockback and you'll be able to be sent backwards. So let's go ahead and keep climbing ourselves up. Like that definitely will cause a lot of throwing off. I want to grab all the coins while we're at it. Basically, if you play Mario Party 3's Awful Towers, you pretty much know that I pretty much took the time and actually replicated almost everything. I had to make it like 5 blocks wide though. I could make it 3 blocks wide, but then there's barely enough room to work with. So once you get to the top, you hit these P switches, and as you can see from above, there's this thing. Which, basically what it does is that you have a timer to get yourself up here. Basically, we already finished the first minigame. And once I hit the P switch, it activates a timer. So you gotta get yourself up here as fast as possible. Otherwise, these things will lock in, and you basically failed the minigame. I will say, if another player does get up there and hit B switches, you have more time to work with at least. But overall, the next room is a 2-player minigame. So now we're entering this 2-player minigame called Vine With Me. As you can see, I replicated Vine With Me pretty well. So you gotta use these claw machines as the vines and try to, like, vine your way over to the finish. If you fall, then you're gonna be pushed back. You can indeed, like, catch most of these vines if you're really good at your rhythm. But overall, I sort of replicated that very well. I will say, like, there's a problem with the bottom path. You have something of a disadvantage because, like, the top path has no ceiling. But the bottom path does have a ceiling, so you're most likely going to be hitting that. If you're ahead, take the door to the left. You'll have an advantage over the second player. But who knows, you might get dethroned by the one on the bottom. But yeah, that is Vine With Me and Awful Tower from Mario Party 3, recreated in Super Mario Maker 2. Let's go ahead and get ourselves right into the editor, shall we? Okay, so here we are once again in the editor. Now, again, so like, I can't just like put the mushrooms in here because there's like this little bit of an X box that you can't really penetrate through, and this is for the multiplayer barrier. As you spawn, everybody becomes big, and you're gonna have to traverse this level big while you're at it. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and go to the sub area. So, I basically took the time and slowly had to replicate. So, I have a little bit of issues trying to, like, figure out how do I be able to get this to work. And let's talk about, like, say, the Hammer Brothers, for example. So, I knew I wanted to add some means of an obstacle that can literally be a nuisance. So, originally, there were going to be, like, springboards, like, right over here. And that applies to, like, all three to the right as well. Like, it applies to over here as well. But here's the problem why it doesn't work. So, I'm gonna go ahead and start from the beginning. And I'm gonna enter as player 4. And as you can see, you can actually see the dissolution to your right. And as such, when I just erase these springboards and actually incorporate land, let me go ahead and go back down. As you can see, now it's in a fixed camera angle. So, yeah, I didn't want to ruin the illusion. So, another thing I also have trouble with is on the very top as well. So, like, I need to make sure that at least making sure that once one player finishes a minigame, then I'm really hoping player 2 would eventually get yourself into this dual minigame. So, I had a few ways to do this. So let me go and put these aside for a moment. So originally, okay, we'll start from the beginning. So I wanted to have a moving shell. So here's my problem here with the moving shell. So originally, I was gonna use a springboard facing that direction, and then like have say this type of beetle just fall on top, and then hopefully land on the switch. But here's the problem. Let me get myself over here first. Here's the problem. As you can see, they just land on top of the thing, so that's not gonna work either. They just land on top of it, so it's not gonna bounce off of it. And I try to figure out if I can like put one of these things on top of the chompers, so that way it'll be forcefully have to aiming in the middle. But either I'm doing something wrong, or it doesn't work this way, because it doesn't want to do that. But anyway, so another idea I had, and like that idea was gonna be my idea, but I had to place the cannon here so I can shoot. But actually, let me go for another idea first thing first. So another idea I had was to use the power block. And alongside that, here, and like each player would have a power block, but it's not really in your face, and as such, like people would not really use advantage of it. And like for like therefore, you can also like use it to if I can be able to get the right buttons on here. So that way you can use it on, like, say, here. Where, like, say, you need to have one player, like, player one, to use it, and then one of these chompers will fall out, and then leaving the second one down there. Like that. And then player two, and then, the shell can also do that. But, that doesn't work either, because, it's not really in your way. You can usually ignore it, or even take it with you. So that's completely out of the idea. And that's when I finally decide, okay, so let's use the coin and everything else, and let it automatically destroy each, chomper. So we're basically giving the team a time limit till the block hits that. But even then, you know, let's not talk anymore about this idea for a moment. Let's go ahead and move on to, let's move on to Vine with me for a moment. Also, by the way, missed opportunity, what I could have done, but I didn't think about it till after I uploaded this level. What I could have done, actually, so that way, make it more interesting for a level, is put coins here, so that way, when you leave the player pipe, you have to wait for basically whoever still survived in that previous minigame. If someone else survived, then you would have to duke it out in this Vine with Me challenge with a challenger, but people could easily just like go inside these doors and unfortunately you can't really abuse that. So yeah, I completely forgot to do that. Every time when I upload a level, and after I publish the level, another idea popped in my head that I could have done, but I'm an idiot. And, yeah. But that's me in a nutshell. Anyway, so enter these doors, and then you go to your right here, and this is where you enter a Vine with Me, of course. So again, Vine with Me, so, like, I need to make it where, you have to use the vines, or you have to use the swings to your advantage, and, if you go on the track, then you can't really run. You have to swing. You gotta utilize the swing some way. So one way, obviously, I had to use the fast track, but even then, you can still outrun the track. So what I also done is I put these blockades, so you pretty much have to run. You'll be constantly being stopped in your path if you try to just run it. And that was pretty unique in some way as well. Also, the top road pretty much also had the advantage. I feel like what I could have done is put something on the top, but here's my problem. I mean, I guess I could have done that. I don't know. I have no idea what my brain was processing, but regardless of such, doing so just makes it a lot difficult. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas going through my brain, and after publishing it, I feel like I could have easily done a much better job. But overall, I did my best to replicate those two minigames. It's also good that I was able to make it work on a jungle setting and a sky setting, just like how both minigames are originally based out of. So, I would say I did a pretty good job replicating both of those minigames in Mario Maker. And, again, I don't see people try to use Mario Party's minigames as a basis of a Mario Maker level. And I figured, let's give it a shot. Let's show that even Mario Party minigames can be an ideal suggestion for a Mario Maker level. So, if you have any Mario Party re-replicated Mario Maker levels, feel free to let me know what your best creations are in the comments below. Post your code. Maybe I'll play them on a live stream for either Mario Mondays or ROM Hack Fridays on my Twitch channel. Anyways, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video of Mario Maker week, where I show off my levels. Again, if you want to play my code, it's on your screen right now. And I recommend hopefully landing this on a multiplayer versus type of thing, and have fun partying with some strangers in an epic battle to survive, assuming if you're not going to be dealing with bad internet connections. Anyways, that's it for you guys. Smart for one, signing out. Good night, guys.